to the premiere of Raw, ladies and gentlemen, which doesn't feel a premiere of Raw at all. You guys tell me below, why doesn't WWE say when their seasons end? And when next to the season's beginning? Because I never hear them say, this is the end of the season of Raw. It's actually kind of stupid. If they're not saying when the end of Raw is, why do they keep saying the premiere? It's kind of stupid. Let's get to the opening of the show, which is the steel cage match between Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt. I'm going to jump straight to the end and pretty much say Bray Wyatt won. But actually, do I have care for it? No. It was a great match. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying it honestly, it was the second best match of the night. It was a very good match. But I've had no interest about Bray because, look, he won finally at a signature pay-per-view in a SummerSlam. Week next, he gets his ass handed to him badly beaten by John Cena. Like he was nothing. What was the point of giving him the win at SummerSlam if he was going to job that badly? Then the next week, he's supposedly been at the end of the show saying, well, Bray Wyatt is now going to have a steel cage match. And then we get this match. Even though Bray won, and it was a very good match, I don't care. And I really like Bray Wyatt. I think he has great potential, but unless they do something better with him, what was the point? Now, I'm going to go to the Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns match. Now, earlier that night, Roman Reigns wasn't really seen, but Randy Orton was, and he basically kicked the ass of a Chris Jericho, which makes me think if he's not coming back, does that mean Randy Orton and Chris Jericho are going to have a feud? Which I think we've never really seen much in a long time between these two. I haven't seen them have a feud in quite a while, so that might be interesting. But that's if they're actually going to have a feud, because it's possible that Chris is done for now. He may be going back to Fonzie. He may be doing his Talk is Jericho more frequently, because I think he hasn't done it in a bit. He's been doing it sporadically because he's been working. But it's a possibility he's gone. You guys tell me below if he has. But now the match. And I'm going to say it honestly, it wasn't the match of the night. But I will say this, it was a good match. But at the end of the match, at the end of the show, it fell flat for me personally. Now I'm going to say it like this. We saw the match. It was good. He almost got his butt whooped. And I'm talking about Randy Orton. So Kane and Seth Rollins with the handlers in the back, who take the crew who takes care of the ring, come out and bring down the steel cage. Roman Reigns kicks the ass of Seth Rollins to a point, to Kane, to Randy Orton, but in the end, he gets curb stomped and splashed by Seth. He gets kicked in the face a couple of times by Kane, and then chair shotted by Randy Orton. Now, Randy, in the beginning of the show, said, I'm going to do something special for the premiere of Raw. And this is where it falls flat for me. What did he do different than what he normally does? Giving chair shots with help from two other people is what he's been doing lately. So I really don't see anything different and new. And I don't hate Randy Orton 100%. I don't. He's not my favorite wrestler. But I still respect him enough to get into that ring and take his hits. But here I don't see a damn thing interesting. So I'm going to move on. The Paul Heyman and John Cena segment. I want to get it done. I'm going to say this. Am I interested for Night of Champions with this match? No. I'm not interested in a John Cena. I'm not interested in a Brock Lesnar. I'm not interested in a Paul Heyman. If Nikki Bella was combined with this, maybe I might be a little more interested, because this would be John Cena not only fighting for his championship, but fighting for his woman. Even if you don't want to hear it, that actually would be better television. But we don't have that. So am I interested in this? I didn't give a fuck about it. But I will say that John Cena did get his point across, saying that he's not going to change for anyone because this is who he is. He enjoys caring about the kids, respecting the troops, and hearing a dad say, you know what, you are fucking shit. But you do make my son happy, and you do right by my son, and I'll take you for that. I'll say that's a good point to get across to a certain extent. Seeing Paul Heyman almost collapse hyperventilating, trying to say, why don't you tell the people in the third row, shut up by saying you suck. Why don't you? Paulie almost looked like he was about to have a coronary. That was a little interesting because he was so badly out of breath. And they're trying to say that John Cena needs to lose being the C-Nation head. He needs to stop being who he is so he can finally beat Brock Lesnar. And I didn't buy a damn bit of it. But like I said, he did get his point across. But I don't care. It doesn't mean it's a great point across. He just got it across. Now, let's move on to the Dust Brothers faces Los Matadores. It was good to see Primo and Epico together. I'm okay with that. Now that I think it was Epico who came back. I think Primo's been here and Epico was gone for a while. He came back. Now El Tortillo's not there for a little while. It's alright, fine. I knew they were going to get their butts beaten up good, and they did. What I was hoping for was something interesting from the Usos, which did happen. Usos tried to kick their asses, and they did. Now, Jay's leg is still messed up, so we're going to be interested in knowing, can he continue to defend? Now, if they gave these tag teams some talk time in the ring, I would be more interested. I am interested in seeing, is the Dust Brothers going to finally get it? Or as Michael Cole said, the Cosmic Twins, taking from the Bella Twins, which is stupid. But if they are going to take the titles, what are they going to do with them? That's what I'm hoping they're going to do, something interesting. Now, I'm going to move on to Sheamus versus Seth Rollins and Cesaro at ringside. Do I actually care about this? No. I've had no interest in caring about Sheamus because we don't see him much. We don't see him talk. We don't see any segments from him. I don't see anything from Cesaro. I don't see any talk from him. I don't see any segments from him. I don't really care. We now know there's going to be a match at Night of Champions for the U.S. title. But I don't see anything interesting, particularly that even though Sheamus did get his ass kicked, Cesaro got his butt shoved off the ring steps into a retaining wall, made him look like a wimp. And even though he did neutralize Sheamus after he got his head curb stomped by Seth Rollins, I just don't feel like it's very interesting. I just don't see anything from these guys. What the WWE has been doing is just throwing matches out there and very little talk time. Just maybe a few interviews here and there right before they're about to do something. And that really is boring. So I'm going to move on to Lana and Rusev. We, the people, got pissed off that Lana and Rusev made fun of the Star Spangled Banner. Where in, where is it? Baltimore, Maryland, that is where it got done. That is where it was produced. And that's actually quite nice to see that they did something that interesting. But I have a problem with that. Why did not Mark Henry come out, or at least go into Titantron, at least say, how dare you? How dare you insult the Star Spangled Banner? I am definitely going to make sure when I put you in the Hall of Pain, I'm going to make sure that you got a nice comfy seat while I play the Star Spangled Banner on your fucking head. Well, take out the fucking, you get my point. He should have had a Titantron segment. It would have made something extra. But it still was good for what it was. Now, I gotta get this over with. The Jerry Springer segment with the Bellas. Stephanie, and Jerry Springer himself. Oh my God. I'm feeling sick. I actually have been dreading doing this review because of this segment. It was so bad. It was not bad in the point where you saw a pair of boobs pop out. You saw some really stupid women act really dumb. No. This was the worst acting and the worst fighting and the most lowest interest I think Raw had. I think it was the 2-hour mark when this was done. I didn't care about Jerry. The video segments they showed at Total Divas I didn't care about. I definitely didn't care about JJ Bella, which is their brother, who was wearing the most fucking smallest, tightest suit. Why do they make these people wear the most smallest, tightest suits to go on there as a character witness? Why? They did the same thing to Brad Maddock. I don't understand why they keep doing this. It's stupid. In the end, you want to know how bad it was? When Jerry, who supposedly sprained his ankle and hurt a couple of ribs, was taken out on a stretcher, he's going like this. There was not even a cheer or a boo. It was practically silent. That's how bad this segment was. Some people was chanting, maybe to a certain point, Jerry, but this was terrible. I am sure the ratings dipped at this time because it was so bad. I did not give a damn about this. It was so bad. And this is the reason why I really am doing this so late, because I was dreading doing this review because of that segment. This brought this show down a lot. I had to get that out of my system. Now, let me tell you a couple of things that wasn't too bad. Oh, there is one more thing that's bad. The Divas tag match. AJ Page versus Rosa and... I'm going to say this. This wasn't a great match, and it was only to progress AJ and Paige feud. Rosa Mendes and Natalya are now supposed to be friends on Total Divas. I have not seen it yet. The only reason I watch Total Divas is only for 3 people. Natalya, because I like her titties and she's not a bad looking woman, even though she does have a silly attitude sometimes. Cameron, who has a very crazy attitude, but she's still damn cute and I still love her. And the only one I care about the most, if the other 2 are gone, is my Naomi. If Naomi's off the show, I don't give a fuck about anything else. I don't watch it no more. They would have to do something very substantial to get me to watch it without Naomi there. But anyway, the problem I had wasn't that AJ won over Rosa Mendes. It's that Rosa Mendes is very awkward in the ring. You guys tell me below how awkward she is. Maybe it's because she's only been wrestling for maybe two years. Maybe the maximum 3. I don't even know how much wrestling she's done. But I'm going to say it like this. When she was a manager for Primo Epico, when she was compared to Eve Torres, I always said this. Eve Torres is sexy, seductive. That's what she is. Rosa Mendes is beautiful. She's beautiful, but she's not seductive and she's not sexy. She's beautiful as hell. She has a gorgeous body, but she's not sexy. And I said that 100% before. Going into this match, you see how awkward she is in the ring. She is extremely awkward. She is. I don't know if she's got enough training or not. I personally kind of wish she went to NXT and stayed there for a while, because she just looks terrible while she's on the main roster. It upsets me to see this. And I had to say that. I just got to get it out. Now, am I forgetting anything? Rosa Mendes. Dolph Ziggler. Miz Dower. And the Miz himself. This was the funniest segment of the night, hands down. I'm sorry, it was. It cracked my ass up. Miz shaving his chest. Miz with a, a cream face. And then seeing Damien spraying tanning lotion or tanning spray on the Miz's back and ass. I'll say this. Dolph Ziggler is not a great character the way they have him. But in this segment, he did pretty good. I'm not saying he did great. He is far from it. If they reconstruct him completely, maybe better. But he isn't that great. But at least he did good here. The Miz looked... I don't know what look he gave. But I'll say this. This is one of the signature things I'm waiting for at Night of Champions for the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz versus Dolph. I'm actually interested in their feud. So essentially, the only thing that was really great here, next to the Miz, the Usos not too bad. The only thing else was the NXT match between Sami Zayn, Neville, versus Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze. Now, I haven't seen a lot of NXT. Unfortunately, a lot of times I always forget to look at it. Like with SmackDown sometimes. I've been trying to watch SmackDown. I've been tending to forget lately because I got stuff I'm trying to do. But I'll say this. I'm glad they showed NXT. The only problem I have, they only show it maybe once a year. If they showed them once a month, one match a month, or at least one match every 2 months, that would give people the interest of saying, hey, they got another part of their product. Let me watch it. There's the problem. Adrian Neville, I believe his name is. I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. Is a very great wrestler, very great high flyer, but I don't believe the WWE has any idea what to do with Neville. They've had high flyers before, and there's no cruiserweights. So when he finally comes up to the main roster, I have no idea what they're going to do with him. They may just drop him like a hot potato, like most high-flying wrestlers. They don't know what to do with them. But that would be sad. Zayn, Sami Zayn, looks like he can make it to the main roster very easily without that much trouble. He seems to be the most polished between Tyler Breeze and Tyson Kidd. And don't get me wrong, I still like Tyson Kidd. He could come back. But he's kind of like Neville in the sense that he's a high flyer too. And they don't have a high flying belt like the cruiserweights anymore. If that was just meant for the US Championship like the X Division was, putting a little bit of TNA in it, if they switched the US Championship to a high-flying belt, saying the US Champion has to fly high because he's the greatest of them all, then those type of people would have something to do. But the way they are now, I don't even think the WWE knows what to do with them. They might as well leave the high flyers on NXT and just leave it at that. Leave NXT as a high-flying show. That's the best way I can say it. But it was a great match, and Adrian Neville gets to win over it. And now I understand that Takedown 2 is going to be coming this Thursday, I believe, and all four of them are going to be in a fatal four-way. I don't know who's going to win it. I'll see if I can actually watch it. I don't know if I'm going to do a review of Takedown 2 because I don't really know that many people in there. But I may at least take a look at it and tell you what my thoughts were. If the product in NXT really is up to snuff like I've been hearing, like from Mr. Parkin, from the Sleg Daddy. Fool Killer 99 doesn't do it, but I'm taking a guess he might be watching it to a certain extent, maybe. But how I feel about the show, it wasn't really good. The season opening wasn't that great. Honestly, I still don't have any interest for Night of Champions. Next to what I've seen, I am interested to an extent with the Usos, Dolph, and The Miz. I am interested. Mark Henry and Rusev Uriel interest me. But everything else, not really that much. Even Rollins Reigns to a certain extent isn't that interesting because there's no real sacrifice yet. There's no cliffhanger that's going to make me want to be interested. Hopefully next 2 weeks he'll give it to me. So I hope you enjoyed the ZANE'S view. Please give me a comment below and be watching for my debate of the week. I am sorry this is a little late. I have been a little busy. But you'll be seeing them. They'll be both coming out probably in the same day. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace out.